Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So, two things that the official Avatar The Last Airbender page posted on Instagram. The first one is just this. There's going to be a Sky Bison ride coming to Mall of America Nickelodeon Universe in spring 2024. So you can see a picture of it here. So if you like these type of rides, this seems kind of cool. It obviously speaks to the idea of as we get closer to 2025 and Avatar Studios properly starting their new projects, in terms of us getting to see them, we are building all this other stuff up in the background that, yes, there's not a lot of news about Avatar Studios, but all these other little bits and pieces are being kind of put into position, and you're seeing the popularity of Avatar rise. And so this ride here kind of in a way coming back, and it's like, otherwise, this is a, show that's getting towards being like 20 years old and like hasn't had an animation in a while. And why are they doing this? It's because they're hyping it up. And in so many ways, the other piece of news that we have here further highlights this. And this is kind of almost probably the more interesting one. It's Nickelodeon posted this because Nick Animation posted this. So, introducing Avatar Academy, a new trainee program from Nickelodeon Animation Studios in partnership with Paramount, Content for Change, and Avatar Studios. Stay tuned for more details. So this very much seems to be some sort of a thing, some program for, I guess, young up-and-coming animators to give them experience, I guess, working on maybe some of these Avatar projects. Because again, this is the interesting thing about Avatar Studios, about how poor, in a way, official communication has been. As far as we're aware, there is multiple animation projects in the works at the exact same time for Avatar Studios. But officially, they've only really been talking about one, that being that 2025, October 2025 movie, the one that we've seen the leaked image from with the adult Team Aang, and so on. What we know for sure, officially announced, is also two other movies, and then while there's nothing official, there has been a lot of rumors and information surrounding what's their first series going to be, spin-offs, shows aimed at different kind of like age groups. Like, we've heard little bits and pieces, even though none of it's official. So ultimately the idea is that there's going to be at least 3 or 4 projects on the go at the exact same time, meaning that they're going to need quite a lot of animators. But in the grand scheme of things, we really haven't heard that much about animation. We know the first movie is going to be animated by Flying Bark. That's the kind of Australia-based animation studio that they announced a while ago. That's going to be our animation studio there. But the idea is that, even though I think Flying Bark mentioned they're recruiting, the expectation would be that they have multiple animation studios if they're going to be doing multiple different projects. So Flying Bark might be the one doing the movie kind of quality stuff, but they might need a different animation studio to work on the main series, and then a different animation studio again to work on like your kids series. And so I guess that's what the idea of this trainee program is. And the reason, in a way, they have not just a it's not just a Nickelodeon animation like trainee program, it's an Avatar specific animation trainee program, as I think speaking towards the intent of like they want a lot of people. Maybe they're building towards the idea of eventually wanting to have their own in-house animation studio, so that they don't always have to use kind of other studios. Maybe that's part of what they're trying to go for here, building towards the future. But it certainly, I think, fits in line with what I think, especially Brian, who's more of the kind of animation focused member of the two, his approach to animation. I think this fits in line with stuff that like he would want to do, help to bring the next kind of generation of animators up to that level by utilizing people on a lot of these projects. Now, we'll see what the exact specifics are. I'm guessing it is more than just direct animators. It's probably a lot of the production assistant and other type positions that are also associated with an animated project being in development. All those kind of management roles as well is probably part of this as well. So one of those ones where like it's interesting because it is technically Avatar Studios news. You can see the logo is up there. The name of this kind of program is Avatar Academy. But it's very much about the kind of behind the scenes stuff. But they have been super selective about when they mention Avatar Studios pretty much anywhere. And so we haven't really heard much about Avatar Studios when it comes to animation in a long time. Like the last kind of news really was it the leaked image. And then like before that, it probably was something along the lines of the announcement of Flying Bark. There was that I think video earlier this year they put up on the official YouTube page where it was just kind of Brian talking about some stuff that, you know, we knew already. It felt a little bit out of date, but at least it was something. This hopefully is just a sign that like things are beginning to improve, that this likely means that kind of more of these productions are happening in the background, but they need to announce what's going on with them, because, you know, we're 2.5 years into knowing about Avatar Studios, and we really haven't had much communication. If the plan is, like the rumors suggest, to have potentially the first movie come out in 2025, and maybe even the first show, well, you haven't even officially announced that first show. Yes, there's all the rumors from like Avatar News and stuff like that highlighting that it's probably going to be about the Earth Avatar after Korra. But again, that is not officially confirmed news. Officially, it's 3 movies, one of which we know at least a little bit about. Everything else is just like technically unofficial information at this point. So there's a need for a lot of that information to improve to get us to the point where we actually have a better sense for what's actually going on here, because I'd be surprised if this is super maybe focused on like maybe getting people involved in the 2025 movie. There's probably enough time where that is the case, but you know, it's probably like one of those ones where like it's maybe more about some of these other projects as well, and especially if you do have like a maybe one for more younger fans, like it feels like there's the option to do a lot of that stuff. But that's kind of the main thing, is that we need to finally get that stuff, like finally announce that series, that it is actually happening, so we know what the first, you know, Avatar Studios animation thing that's going to be, we'll only see it on Paramount Plus, is going to be, you know, announce some of that stuff. We definitely have been waiting for it, because it's New York Comic Con in October, where going into it, the main thing at this point we'd be expecting is the next Korra comic announcement. But there is an opportunity for maybe an early Avatar Studios panel, but it's maybe not the right timing for that, which means 2024, we're talking about San Diego Comic-Con next year. It has to be when they really deliver on this stuff. So I know there hasn't even been too much talk about Avatar Studios in the last while, because I do think the leaked image kind of has calmed people down quite a lot, because it's now this kind of really clear thing of like, when people ask what's happening with Avatar Studios, you can just show them that image and like, this is what the first movie is going to be. And I think everyone gets it. It's a really useful image to have, to just highlight to people immediately. None of this kind of nonsense about like the vague information that we have. It's just, this is going to be the October 2025 movie. We don't have a lot beyond this one image, but this shows you exactly what it is going to be. And just having a visual, even though, you know, you can't be super open about using it, I suppose, is something that's quite good. So I actually think, even though they probably didn't want that image to go out publicly, it has ended up probably being a good thing for the fandom that image has been out there, to just calm down a lot of the, like, in a way, imagine where we would be if we didn't have all of this stuff. But still, they need to communicate. That's the kind of big thing in all of this. We're, you know, are we going to get an Avatar Studios official account eventually? Because it is kind of interesting that like Nick Animation themselves post this. They tag Paramount, but then they can't really tag Avatar Studios, because the official Avatar account, which did sort of, you know, repost this basically, is, yes, it's the official account, but like it never comes across as being super the official account. So, you know, there's weird stuff surrounding all of this. And otherwise, like what's happening this month, like Avatar Quest for Balance is coming out at the end of the month. Well, actually in like just under 3 weeks. Not a lot of excitement or build up to that. just because it doesn't seem like any marketing seems to be going into that. But hopefully with just a few weeks away, we'll finally get some proper details, gameplay about that. I think either way, I will be getting that game, and I'll be doing lots of gameplay videos. I'll probably do some sort of a live stream as well covering it. So, you know, that's there for the end of the month. Otherwise, we're just kind of waiting for the Azula in the Spirit Temple to come out. I'm waiting to finally be able to talk openly about it. Preview pages still aren't up yet, so I don't know what the plan is with them. I'm looking everywhere I can for them. I haven't found them yet. But obviously I'll do a video when we get those preview pages, wherever they come from. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, October 31st / November 1st for Azula in the Spirit Temple. And doesn't really seem like there's a lot that's huge towards the end of the year. We are still waiting for the pre-order stuff to go up for the physical, you know, the vinyl for the Book 1 Avatar soundtrack. I don't think there's been any listings or anything like that have gone up yet, but I think we know all the tracks now from the digital listings. It's mainly just about what the physical presentation on that is actually going to be. Otherwise, it's November, I think, for the actual release. And so I assume at some point this month or next month, they'll have to have that up. Otherwise, you know, pre-orders aren't going to do too well if you don't have them available at a certain point with the release so close. So yeah, that's pretty much I think everything I want to talk about here. So just let me know in the comments, do you have any thoughts on the new kind of ride here, which I just think is kind of interesting. And then probably the more interesting one, definitely, Avatar Academy, this trainee program, which we assume is just to kind of give people new up-and-coming animators experience, probably working on the various different projects Avatar Studios is working on. What are your thoughts on this, what it means, the timing of it? But yes, that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.